guys, welcome to TED Talks FPL. In this episode of the Form vs Fixture series, I'm going to be talking about defence classification, where we break team defences into 4 sections, which will help us target defensive and goalkeeping options for our FPL teams, while also targeting the weakest defences when thinking about our attacking options and captaincy. The charts that we'll look at contain defensive data from the entire season and split out home and away. The metrics that we'll use to classify these defences are number of shots conceded across the bottom and quality of chances conceded across the side, which is effectively expected goals conceded per number of shots conceded. But a simpler way of describing this is using big chances conceded. This method, however, creates a more accurate scale of defence quality for us to determine who the best options are. Teams that fall into the top left-hand side of the chart are going to be classified as high possession teams that are vulnerable to counterattacks and set pieces. These are likely to be premium team options to be wary of from a clean sheet perspective. Teams that form into the top right-hand side of the chart are likely to be the worst defences, which we should avoid at all costs from a clean sheet perspective, but it's worth paying attention to that side of the chart because they're worth targeting for captaincy of our attacking assets when playing against those teams. Teams that fall in the bottom left-hand side of the chart are likely to be the best all-round defences, likely to be premium team options worth investing in for clean sheet potential. And lastly, teams that fall into the bottom right-hand side of the chart with lots of shots conceded but low big chances conceded are likely to be great for goalkeeping options, since every single long-range effort or low-quality chance is equal to save potential for goalkeepers. Because of the low volume or percentage of big chances, that they still maintain that clean sheet potential, making this section also very important for budget defensive options. Let's start with home defensive form. Looking at the right hand side of the chart, where typically teams concede more shots, the big chances conceded amongst teams tends to decrease as we go down the page. Huddersfield and West Ham are the worst culprits for big chances conceded, with 43 and 36 respectively. Cardiff, Burnley and Brighton, however, are 10th, 9th and 8th best, respectively, with 29, 28 and 27 big chances conceded. Wolves are actually 4th best for big chances conceded, which shows that they are still a very good defensive option down on that page with 20 big chances conceded. Only Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea better Wolves with 18, 17 and 16 big chances conceded respectively. Man City is high on the chart, however, which means that the percentage of their big chances amongst total shots is much higher than other teams. They can be classified as a high possession team susceptible to counterattacks and set plays. And this is supported by some of their stats. Half their total shots conceded at home being from a set play or a header. And the amount of times that they've conceded a solitary goal when winning the game has been on 13 occasions, like Crystal Palace on Sunday when Milivojevic scored a free kick. So even though Man City's defence may be deemed desirable purely down to conceding the fewest number of shots on goal, it may be worth being wary of them at home because of certain defensive vulnerabilities. Liverpool and Chelsea, on the other hand, are perhaps more prevalent at limiting set play chances for their opponents at home. The likes of Virgil van Dijk may be the reason for Liverpool, and Rudiger and David Luiz may be more effective at limiting set play and counter-attacks. The teams bottom right represent the ideal goalkeeping options at home throughout the season. The trouble has been this season that most of these teams have suffered rotation or uncertainty about the first choice goalkeeping position. Arsenal, for example, started with Cech in goal and now they're fielding Leno. Southampton, it's been between Forster, McCarthy and Gunn. Brighton, Ryan has been the main man between the sticks, but went off to the Asian Cup, leaving Button to take his place. Burnley, Joe Hart started the season. Nick Pope has been injured after an excellent season last season, and Tom Heaton has ended up as first choice goalkeeper, making it quite difficult to predict the best option among those teams. To a lesser extent, Wolves' Rui Patricio has rotated recently with Ruddy. I think it was against Cardiff a few game weeks ago, but I'm not sure that's much to worry about. He still remains a very decent goalkeeping option. With Cardiff, Neil Etheridge has been a consistently first choice goalkeeping option, but as we will see, Cardiff's away defensive form is pretty dire. Lucas Fabianski is usually a decent option between the sticks, but West Ham have been unable to keep many clean sheets this season, which has dented his fantasy appeal. Away from home, it's a slightly different story. On the whole, barring a few exceptions like Man City, all teams tend to concede more shots away from home. This ties in with our usual intention of playing defenders at home in our FPL sides. But it's not always quite as simple as that. It's always worth monitoring which teams are performing better defensively away from home, rather than sticking with that general assumption. The likes of Crystal Palace here, Newcastle, Liverpool, Wolves and City are all displaying better defensive attributes away from home, making the likes of Guita from Palace and Dubravka from Newcastle viable goalkeeping options. Conversely, Chelsea, Everton, Brighton and Cardiff are perhaps less solid defensively away from home, making them less appealing FPL assets when playing away from home. The worst for big chances conceded here are Fulham, Cardiff and West Ham, with 55, 55 and 54 big chances conceded respectively, which is why we've been targeting players for captaincy when playing against these teams. Liverpool and Man City are the best of the bunch here, with Wolves once again fourth best for big chances conceded, emphasising what an excellent budget defensive force they've been this season. I'll be looking to update these charts each game week going forward, which will hopefully give us some greater insight on defensive options until the end of the season and at the start of next season. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like or a comment. If you'd like to be updated with any content of mine coming out in the near future, you can follow me on Twitter at TEDTalksFPL and alternatively subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll be back tomorrow with another video and a new series called Beat the Bandwagon, where I take a closer look at some of the bandwagons forming in the current game week. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time.